Hello useless people. We all already witnessed it once when we have played a DC that our supports locks and that thing there does absolutely nothing during the laning phase and just decides to go away after he hit level 3 to the mid lane to make a useless play, comes back, steals some XP and repeat. Meanwhile you have to play a 1v2 as a useless ADC during the whole laning phase, give up most of the CS just to get flamed at the end of the game that you haven't dealt any damage. This scenario is called roaming and is often used by these champions on the bot lane. You basically go to a different lane and surprise the enemy by creating a situation where you outnumber them. This tactic is especially broken in low elo since most players still don't know what a mini-map is and keep both of their wards safely into their pockets. So they don't get informed by the surprise visit which often ends up with a kill or summoner's spell used by the enemy. But at the same time you are risking a useless moron on the bot lane getting behind on CS and tilted which can lead to a rage quit. At the same time the enemy hyper carry gets fed when your roams don't succeed. So here is a solution where you can roam whenever you want and don't let a tilted ADC behind on your lane. A P-Bard mid and here is why you should try him out. At the start you just buy a Doran's Blade or Doran's Ring to make sure that the minions don't get under your turret since you will have a hard time last hitting them. During this stage of the game your only goal is to hit level 3 as fast as possible to be able to make plays at other lanes. But before you leave your lane make sure to push out the wave, otherwise the enemy will obviously tear down your turret. There is still one problem left. Bard damage during the early game is ridiculously low. The only thing that helps pushing out the wave is your Q and your passive that works like this. Every few seconds Bard gives birth to a small midget, which can be used to throw it towards an enemy that deals bonus magical damage and slow the enemy. Unluckily Bard can only breastfeed one child at the same time, so in order to get more children you can throw towards the enemy, you need to collect chimes that are distributed among the whole map which forces you to leave the lane and be more active. Yes, I'm talking to you fat pig sitting the whole day in front of the screen just like me. But what if you can't get away from your lane because the enemy keeps pushing in the wave? Well, when it is a brain-dead Yasuo that thinks a wind wall can block turret shots, it doesn't matter. You can feel free to go for roams since it is just an idiot with some gold. What can go wrong?
Defeat.
Anyway, Bard roams get even stronger after unlocking the ult, giving you the possibility to throw a stopwatch towards the enemy, which is quite easy when they play immobile champs, turning them into a golden statue for a few seconds. That gives us the opportunity to catch up and beat the shit out of them, and the Master Yi joined us right away, but he underestimated my damage and decided to take some distance, but I'm the king of roams, and no one can escape a P-Bard mid. And these tunnels are the key for a good gank since you can place them anywhere and can get pretty far with them. Another important tool are his children that deal additional damage. And in teamfights it's always handy when you can freeze the enemy hyper carries so they have to wait patiently until the fight is over and I can wipe them out of existence. This makes running down enemies quite simple since you just create a tunnel to have a shortcut, and throwing your children also slows the enemy, giving them no chance for an escape. But not only can I run players down, I can also prevent my teammates from getting run down with my ult. This Yi really thinks he is a smart guy, huh? Better luck next time. I somehow got fed thanks to the brand being out of position the whole game, but I forgot to take a look at the clock which was already past 40 minutes, giving a 2/24 support the capability to kill me. Another advantage you have playing this thing in low elo is catching player off guard pushing out a wave, being totally out of position at the same time. And this open secret making the tower immune towards the incoming Rift Herald damage, which at the end didn't help since none of my teammates was interested in defending it. But I wasn't in a mood to give up my second tower as well, so we scared them off, but I'm Bard mid and I don't let them get away with that, so I created my own railway to catch up and my big brain anticipated the movement of these hardstucks. You should still be careful with your stopwatch when to use it since it has some potential to outplay yourself. This Jinx was still thinking that she is in a movie playing the main character and that she could win a 1v2, but I joined them and made it a 1v3. I once again found her overextending and was ready to spank her ass again, but it looks like she invited some friends to her party, so I ran home to my mum. I was just collecting some footage of me showing off how good Bard's wave clear is when you have some children up, but the Jinx was like, when you kill me, I will create an OnlyFans account, and you can be sure that me and the boys didn't want to let the faith decide over anything. And during this whole process I forgot to tell you about the W spell, which is something for our British fellas. It's basically a tea that needs to get warm up so you can have some tea time later, but when your teammate is about to die you can just throw it into his face to save his useless ass. And very helpful when you get poked down during the laning phase. But there are some players where any help comes too late, like this Tarzan suffering under severe brain damage. Some of you might ask now. But CVK, you just showed us that Bard can be strong in teamfights, but how is his 1v1 potential? Say no more, since here you can witness a pro player gameplay and a fight you have never seen before. Absolutely no problem. Later on, both of them were overextending, so I gave them some time to think about their poor decision making, and at the end they had to pay the price. Just like this woman with the ability to clone herself, but flashing away won't save her from my flying children. And this waifu with the crossbow thinks she can escape when she pins me against the wall, but one flash was enough to prove her wrong. Unluckily, my ADC got caught during the team fight, and I created a tunnel for her to escape, but she decided to stand still and started right-clicking in the hope that no one would see her. The enemy team were doing the Baron, and our horse decided to charge in with full power, doing something useful just like me. Even the Nasus was confused by that bad synergy ult that he couldn't decide if he should walk away or attack me. One ADC was left, but you know what you can do when you face a Bard. Run away. This Trundle was also looking for an escape, but he couldn't handle the amount of CC we had in our pocket. We got caught off guard, but here is rule number 1: never chase an enemy through a Bard tunnel, since you never know who is waiting on the other side, and you guys already know my main fun is to bully the ADC, and after that was done the other two had to flee, but I could grab my well-deserved triple. And after we slaughtered the Elder Drake, the enemies were ready to FF. So if you also want to go for roams and let an enemy AFK farm on the mid lane, just go ahead and pick this champ, since it can work if the enemy is brain dead, and you can easily achieve this KDA. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, since one click is enough to support my channel. On the left you can watch a video how you can counter ranged top laners with an AP Alistar, and on the right you can see why you should start playing Blitzcrank top and low elo.